Let's talk waiver wire ads from the weekend. Up next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5 on Monday, July 8th. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Scott White, and let's talk waiver wire hitters in shallower leagues. And Ben Rice had his breakout game on Saturday, 3 for 5 with 3 homers and 7 RBI. He has led off 4 games in a row. The underlying numbers all look really good here, Scott. Ben Rice, 61% rostered. Do you think that needs to be 100%?
Yeah, kind of. I kind of do. I mean, it might be a tough fit in some leagues, but here's why I'm so excited about Ben Rice. High line drive rate, high fly ball rate, high pull rate. His swing seems to be optimized for damage, whether you're talking batting average or home run production. The 3 home runs he hit, these were not Yankee Stadium creations. The softest hit of them was 103.7 miles per hour. He had one that was 110.8. It actually upped his season high by more than 3 miles per hour. He's got a low K rate. It's at 17%. So you look at the expected stats. Going into Sunday's game, Ben Rice had an expected batting average of 338 and an expected slug of 698. So Statcast is seeing the same thing I'm seeing, where it's like this guy is just built for damage. You look at the minor league track record, Ben Rice was a monster down there. I think he slipped through the cracks as a prospect because he was kind of a defensively challenged catcher, but he's not playing catcher anymore. He's playing first base, still eligible at catcher in fantasy. And that's the most exciting part, right? Because he hasn't quite earned every day at bats yet, playing against some lefties, but not all. But if he's catcher eligible, not many catchers play every day anyway. So he's most useful there, obviously. But it may be getting to a point now where, if he continues to hit like this and get results like this, Ben Rice may be worth using even as a corner infielder. So I don't know that he's must add across the board yet, but I could see him getting there. If nothing else, I'm going to say I'm not confident Anthony Rizzo gets his job back this year.
Would you drop any of Sean Murphy, Ryan Jeffers, or David Fry for Ben Rice in a one-catcher league?
In one-catcher league, we're talking shallower formats, a certain amount of interchangeability at that position, since few teams would own more than one catcher. Yeah, I think for the upside, I'd drop any of those guys for Ben Rice.
All right, let's talk about 2 Twins hitters. Brooks Lee is off to a great start. In 5 games, he has 9 hits, 1 homer, and 6 RBI. And his teammate, Jose Miranda, has been racking up the hits. He went 5 for 5 on July 4th and then 4 for 4 with his 9th home run on Friday. Who would you put more of a priority on, Jose Miranda or Brooks Lee?
I would say Brooks Lee. I think it's fair to assume more upside there. And I have my questions about Brooks Lee's upside. He doesn't hit the ball particularly hard at all. And even in looking at this home run he hit over the weekend, it was only 99.8 miles per hour. Managed to hit at 395 feet. That's longer than you'd expect for not hitting it that hard. And it maybe tells you something about the angle Brooks Lee attacked that with. And that may be the key to his whole success. Hitters can make up for poor exit velocity readings with optimal launch and spray angles, and maybe Lee just has a knack for that, sort of like Isaac Paredes does. It's a big leap to make that to say that now, but he was obviously hitting home runs in the minors even with suspect exit velocities. Only struck out twice so far, so the hit tool is translating for Brooks Lee, and I think the overall package is interesting enough that he probably needs to be added everywhere. Miranda's pretty close to being added everywhere too, after going 12 for his last 13, something like that. It's got the batting average well over 300 at this point. Low strikeout rate makes Miranda viable in points leagues too. So he's definitely up there in terms of being added, but I do suspect Brooks Lee probably has the higher ceiling of the two.
Let's quickly wrap up with some waiver wire pitchers in shallower leagues. Scott, how would you rank this group? Shane Baz, Reese Olson, Tyler Anderson. I know he can't keep getting away with it. He's 74% rostered, so he's just up there in terms of roster rate. And Spencer Schwellenbach, 4 names there. How do you rank those?
So I go Boz number 1, most upside, obviously. Doesn't seem like the curveball's back to form yet, but I think everything else looks good, and I think he'll could get to a point where he dominates this year. So Boz number 1, Olsen number 2 with his 2 great swing and miss pitches, and he's looked a lot better overall recently. I'm going to go Schwellenbach over Anderson. Schwellenbach has a wide variety of pitches. He throws like 72% of his pitches for strikes, which is ridiculous. Control, and he mixed in the splitter more in the start, upped its usage, doubled it basically, and that's been his best swing and miss pitch. So there's a lot to like here from Schwellenbach. Anderson, I think he's been one of the clearest overachievers, I should say, among starting pitchers this year. He did get 10 strikeouts and 22 swinging strikes in this start at the Cubs, which, if he was doing that all along, I wouldn't have anything bad to say about Tyler Anderson. But right now, all the bat missing, it looks like a one-off for Tyler Anderson, and he hasn't been a big bat misser overall this year. So unless that continues, I'm going to say he can't keep getting away with it, as you say, Frank.
All right. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Odyssey app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we will be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.